What is going on, guys and girls? Welcome back to TvandMe. I'm of course Kevin, and it's time for The Walking Dead. So let's not hang about, let's get straight into the recap of last episode. Firstly, we had Maggie and Glenn, of course, who Mel took him. He took him back to Woodbury, to the governor, and it looks like they're going to try and get the information out of him as to where Rick and the rest of the group are staying. And like I said last week, I think that they may use Maggie as a tool against Glenn in order to get him to spill the beans, but I'm hoping that's not the case, but that's what I think is going to happen. My only hope at this point is either Andrea sees that they have Glenn and she decides to switch sides and she sort of helps them escape, or maybe Michonne will tell Rick about what's going on with Mel and that he kidnapped Glenn and Maggie. He'll tell Daryl will hear about his brother, go to Woodbury, help Glenn and Maggie escape, and maybe betray his brother. As I mentioned there, Michonne is at the edge of the fence with Rick. You know, she's trying to get into the group. I'm hoping that Rick lets her into the group, although he may be a bit wary, but I feel if she shows him the baby formula, she gives it to him, and then she explains everything she saw with Mel, he might start trusting her. But then again, he might think it's a trap and he might not listen to her. But I feel Michonne is a very direct and honest person. You can tell she's very honest and she's very passionate, you know. You can tell she's straightforward. That's what I get from her anyway, and I hope Rick sees that and he lets it into the group. She explains everything, they come together, they formulate a plan, and hopefully they get Maggie and Glenn out of that city, because nothing but bad stuff is going to happen there with them two. And god damn it, Mel, why did you have to do that? I want to stick on the topic of Mel actually, just for a second. Last week I said that I was starting to like the Mel character, and I was. And then the end of last episode I said that I hated him. Now, I've had time to think about it, and even though, I mean, I talked to you guys in the comment section, and you even said it, that even though Mel is a character that is an arsehole, he's a wrong person, you know, and I hate what he's done to Maggie and Glenn, but as a character, he's fun to watch on screen. I enjoy watching him on screen, even though I don't agree with the stuff he does. Just to pull from my experience with other TV shows and Game of Thrones and stuff, you know, for those of you who have watched it, he's very much like a Ramsay type character where he does despicable stuff and you hate it, but you can't help but enjoy when they're on screen, and you know, the dialogue and the way they act and what they do, you know it's make-believe in your head, so it's sort of okay to enjoy that character. But was it in real life, then it'd just be a no-go zone. I enjoy Mel when he's on screen, but I hate what he does and I hate the decisions. It's much like what I was like with Shane, you know. I always said I loved to hate Shane, and that's how I feel about Mel. I just realised I'm turning into a bit of a weatherman with my hands. I don't. The more I've done this series, the more I've gone on with The Walking Dead, I've noticed I've started to use my hands more and more to talk, and I don't know if that's just because I'm trying to convey what I'm trying to say. I'm even doing it now, but you know, I can't help it. It helps me express my feelings. Finally, Daryl found Carol, which I was happy about, because I was like 99% sure she wasn't dead. And I'm glad they've got that out of the way. Again, not a storyline they've dragged out when they could have. And yeah, that's wrapped up. Hopefully Daryl starts to show more emotion towards Carol now, because it was obvious he was feeling something when he found her, you know. He was relieved, he was happy. And I hope their relationship grows a bit more. I know Carol seems to have an interest in Daryl, but I'm wondering whether Daryl has an interest in Carol, because I don't know whether he sees her as more of a mother figure, or he does see her as someone he would be in a relationship. From situations in the past, I saw her treating him like a son, or like she was being a mother figure to him, but you know, after a few of her comments, I don't know, she wants it to be more than that. But let's leave that there. Let's get straight into the episode. This is Season 3, Episode 7, and hopefully it's not terrible. Hopefully I'm not a stay at the end of this, and hopefully I can have a big smile on my face. Straight away, no breaker. Jesus Christ, straight into it.
You an asshole out there. Just like you were on that rooftop back there in Atlanta. T-Dog. Yeah, big old spear chucker. The one I was pleading with. The one that dropped the key. Tell me, where's that?
He didn't make it.
Well, I hope he went slow. How about my baby brother? You can't tell me he's alive and then hold off on where he is. No?
He's not going to tell him. He's going to use Maggie. I know
Or
he is.
maybe the farmer's daughter will help me out. I want to know where my brother is.
No.
I want to know where the sheriff is.
Fuck.
Now I want to know where you'll hide, where your camp is, and I want to know now.
Rick, come on. I know he doesn't know her. He don't know whether he can trust her, but she doesn't stand a chance. It's not like she's a threat at the moment.
Carl.
Cole saved her.
Oh, God.
Poor thing fought her way into a cell. Must have passed out, dehydrated.
Oh, she's going to learn about Laurie. I love this theme, by the way. Damn it, don't start me off again.
The supplies were dropped by a young Asian guy. With the pretty girl.
What happened?
Oh, fuck.
Were they attacked?
Tell him.
They were taken.
Taken? By who?
You better start talking. I have a much bigger problem than a gunshot wound.
Find them yourself.
Please tell him. Please.
There's a town. Woodbury.
Thank you.
About
Thank
75
you.
survivors. I think they were taken there.
You know a way in?
Place is secure from walkers, but we could slip our way through.
So tell me, where y'all been at?
It's just a matter of time before they come looking. Rick, Shane, Dale, Jim, Andrea.
Fuck.
Really?
What you did for me?
I had to.
Yeah, I know, and I'm sorry. No one should have to go through that. Look, if something happens while we're
I'll
gone,
be alright.
if anything happens, you get everyone locked in the cells. You keep them all safe.
I will.
I know you will.
I've been thinking, what should we really call her?
What do you think?
Remember
Laurie.
my third grade teacher, Mrs. Mueller?
Of course.
Her first name was Judith.
I think that's a fine name.
I was going to say, I'm so impressed at how much faith Rick shows in Carl. He's so young, but he puts so much trust, and he does. You can tell he's not just saying it. He really trusts Carl to be able to look after people, and it's great. Straight into this fucking nonsense, eh? Oh, fuck off.
I want to imagine how I felt fighting my way off that roof. Last chance, where's your group? All right, suit yourself. Go, red boy.
No. It's alright, it's on the tape, it's on the tape.
These are cues that will hopefully linger in his unconscious mind even after he's died.
There is no unconscious mind, Milton. Whoever they once were is gone.
We'll see.
So he's trying to determine whether there's still some of the person left after they
have
take.
you?
We'll take you back to your people, explain this was all just a misunderstanding. You tell us where they are, and we'll drive you there. Stand up. Take off your shirt.
Fuck you.
Take off your shirt,
No.
or I'll bring Glenn's hand in here.
No. You sick fuck.
Go on.
Oh, he's gonna fucking rape her. Don't you fucking dare, you.
So you're gonna talk.
You do whatever you're gonna do. And go to hell.
We don't mean any harm. Get out of my house! Okay, we will. But we can't right now. I'll call the cops! I am a cop.
I'll call the cops. I think you might be a bit crazy. Michonne's gonna kill him.
Don't open that door!
Oh shit, they're gonna feed him to him. Well, he's dead, and he's gonna turn eventually, isn't he? So he might as well. It's crazy that I am okay with what just happened there. Oh fuck, he's turned.
It's happening.
My name is Milton Mamet. Please raise your right hand off the bed if you recognize any of the following statements to be true. Your name is Michael Coleman. Did you see that? He responded.
The fingers move. That could be
No,
enough.
he can't raise his hand. It's the angle. I want to try again without the restraints.
No.
We may have tethered his consciousness. We have to try.
No.
Oh, what a fucking
My
idiot.
name is Milton Mamet. Please raise your right hand.
Oh, fuck off.
Drop it.
Now, one of you.
I knew
is
it
gonna
was coming
give
to
up
this.
Your camp.
Prison. One near Noonan?
The place is overrun.
We took it.
Hey,
Don't touch her.
all right.
Don't you fucking touch her. You sick fuck. I hope Glenn kills him. I hope that's the fate of the governor. I hope Glenn kills him.
This group with your brother at its core has done something you told me couldn't be done. They did it. Your brother might be out there right now searching for him. Blood is blood, right? Makes me wonder where your loyalties lie.
Here.
You two get a small group and scout this prison. I want to know exactly what we're dealing with.
I wouldn't put it past Mel to betray the governor for his brother. But I've got a feeling Daryl will betray his brother for the group, for Rick's group.
Had the Melvin find what he was looking for?
No.
It's over now. It's all right.
So there we have it, episode 7, and I've got to start out by talking about the governor. If you recall, in one of my previous reviews, I can't remember if it was the last one or the one before that, I talked about how I was looking for the governor's big nefarious plan, because so far we've seen snippets of how bad a guy he can be, like the heads in the jars, you know, it was pretty sick, but was it just, you know, he kept that to himself. I mean, he killed a chopper pilot, which was pretty bad, and he killed all those soldiers, but again, we didn't know their motives, you know, we didn't know those characters, so I was still looking for that extra excuse to hate the governor, and, you know, not see the charismatic side, and this episode, he gave it to me. This episode, he took Maggie, he made her strip in front of him, which was just disgusting. He threatened to rape her, and yeah, I don't like the governor now. That charisma that he had no longer works for me. I'm not going to see him as this guy who's looking out for his town. Now I just see him as a sadistic, horrible human being. I also said before this episode about Mel that he's a character that I love to hate, and even though he did beat on Glenn, and I fucking hated that, and I hated that he put that zombie in that room when Glenn was tied to the chair, but I knew Glenn would fight his way out of that and he'd survive. But I hate Mel for doing that. I still enjoy seeing the character on screen and enjoy some of his quips and stuff, but I hate what he did in this episode. So I hate him, but I love watching him. Whereas with the governor, before I was just seeing that charisma and the way he was with people, but since that scene, I think the governor might be top of my shit list now. I think he may be the one that I want to die, and the way I want him to die is either by Maggie or Glenn. I want one of them two to deal with him. I want one of those two to kill him. I want them to get out of the situation they're in, which I don't know if they will at this point. I was hopeful they would, but there's so much politics going on within the two groups now, with people siding with that group, but are they really siding with that group, or are they going to be a threat to that group when they find out this certain information? And it's just absolutely crazy. So let's stick with Merle and all that politics. Firstly, he said that he's loyal to the governor, but I think Merle would betray the governor for his brother. I think he's got a true love for his brother, even though he's a bully to his brother. I think that he does love him, and I feel that he would betray the governor if he said to Daryl, us two go together and leave together, and he would do that. Whereas, even though I think Daryl would be conflicted in the moment, I think ultimately Daryl would betray Merle. And I say that because of the relationships he's developed with Carol, with the baby, with Rick, with just the whole entire group. And he knows he's respected in that group. He knows that the people there care for him and will watch his back. Like when he said to Rick when they were walking together, he said, when Rick thanked him for the baby stuff, he said, that's what we do. He knows there's trust within that group and they'll do anything for each other. And even though Merle is the X Factor, because of course he's his big brother, I think Daryl will see through his shit, and maybe he'll see what he did to Glenn, and maybe he'll see what he did to Maggie, and he may draw the line and say, look brother, I love you, but I can't do this. I've got to be with this group. You are just too far over the line. And whether or not he would kill him, I don't know if he'd go that far, but I think he would betray him. I also want to pick up on a point I made in the recap before this episode, that I wanted to see Michonne in this group, in Rick's group, but it didn't click in my mind, the whole Andrea stuff. And now I've watched this episode, I've realised that Andrea talked all this shit probably about how Rick's group abandoned her, because they did, I don't want to say it, but they were on that motorway and somebody said, I can't remember who it was, if it was Dale or someone, said that we should go look for Andrea, and Rick just said, no, we've got to go on, she's dead. I think they assumed she was dead, so they moved on, and she was abandoned. So she's probably been with Michonne for this whole time, telling her about how they were close and how they just left her behind. And if Michonne finds out that this is the group, this is the group that abandoned Andrea in a time of need, I don't know what she'll do. Whether she'll honour that relationship with Andrea after Andrea abandoned her, whether she'll still have that feeling and she'll get rid of him, or whether she will side with Rick's group now Andrea's done that to her, and she'll go in, get Andrea and try and reunite them all. I mean, it's all up in the air, but it's so interesting how people are moving from groups to groups, and they've got all this history together, and now they're going to meet up again, and whose allegiance are they with? Are they going to side with this person, that person? It's masterful storytelling, and I love what they've done with the characters, putting them in these certain situations. Even though I don't love where Glenn and Maggie are and what's happening to them, I love the way all these chess pieces have been moved about the board. We're just seeing the masterful creation of just storytelling and character development come together and interweaving, and it's fantastic. The big question now, of course, is what's going to go down. Rick is outside the Woodbury town. He's got two of the prisoners with him and the young girl Beth. I think that was it, or Michonne. For some reason, I feel like the two prisoners are just zombie fodder. You know, I like them. You know, we've not really seen much of them. They've been here and there, had odd bit of dialogue, but again, not really been explored. It's the same for Beth, really. Apart from the whole suicide thing she went through, she hasn't been really explored either. So I feel like either of the prisoners or Beth could be at the chopping block at any time, whereas Rick won't be. And I have to say something, actually. I did actually get spoiled a little bit. I meant to bring this up in the previous episode, but I was watching a video and a thumbnail came up of season 7 Rick, and Rick was on the front, so I know Rick is still alive, even though that's not really a spoiler because, you know, he's our main protagonist and he's bound to survive. I don't know who else has survived, but I got spoiled that Rick survives, and you know, that doesn't really take away from the show because I never assumed he would die. But I went completely off the point there. What I was trying to say is, I feel like those three characters, Beth and the two prisoners, are possible zombie food, you know. I like Beth, you know, she's been explored a little bit, but I'm not super attached to her. And the two prisoners, we barely know. I like Axel's humour, and I like Oscar and his honesty. But, again, not much character development. I feel like they could die, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Oh yeah, I just remembered Daryl's in the group as well. How did I forget Daryl? Daryl is going to be the key figure in this whole thing that goes down, because Merle is on one side, Daryl is one side. Those are going to be the two keys to how this situation unfolds. Who betrays who? Does Daryl betray Rick's group? Does Merle betray the governor? Do they both betray each other's groups? Like I say, don't see Daryl doing it. I see Merle doing it. So hopefully, Glenn and Maggie get out alive because Merle betrays the governor. But I feel like Merle doesn't like Rick's group, so why would he? It's so hard. I don't know. I just want Maggie and Glenn to get out alive. I really fear for him now, because as soon as he chucked that zombie in there with Glenn, even though I knew in my mind that Glenn would get out of that situation, I was worried that they're setting those two characters up to die, Maggie and Glenn, and I don't want that to happen. I'm basically saying they're setting up everyone to die, aren't I? I can't help it, you know. That's the beauty of this show. You know, no one's safe apart from Rick, our main protagonist. I assume no one is gonna survive. You know, anyone could be on the chopping block, and it makes the show that much more engaging because you're watching every single move by a character, everything they say, because you want to know if you can trust them, if you can believe them, and it's great. I keep saying it, but it's incredible. I've got to admit, I am really tempted to go straight into the next episode, but the whole thing is editing. For those who don't know, it normally takes me around 4.5 hours to 5 hours to do one episode and stick it up on YouTube, because I'll do a recap, do the episode, do the review, and then it's the editing process. It's the editing process which takes the longest, you know. It's like a 2.5-3 hour process, because I have to go through and choose and select scenes. I do one run, it's usually about 14-15 minutes, then I've got to go back, chop, come back, it's about 12 minutes, and I've got to keep dissecting it, and you know, eventually I get the episode, and then I pull it up and everything, pull it together, render it, which takes another an hour. And you know, it's a long process, and I just wish I could get more episodes out to you, because I'm loving the show, and I'll be honest, I don't have much self-control with these types of show. And the fact I've got to do the editing actually is the thing that's stopping me watching more episodes as we go along. So hopefully I can watch another episode as soon as I can, because I just want to find out what happens to Maggie and Glenn. I really do. And I want to find out what's going to happen to Rick's group and if they're going to be able to rescue them. But let's leave that there. Some really horrible moments in that episode, especially the governor thing with Maggie. I hate that. Even though I hated seeing Glenn getting punched, you know, it's physical damage. You know, you recover from that. Whereas with Maggie, he's trying to belittle her in her own mind. He's using mind games to her, you know. He threatened rape, he made her strip, you know. That's all in your mind, and I hate that sort of stuff. So next episode, the mid-season finale. I think I said season finale before, but the mid-season finale, I'm expecting to be a big episode. Hopefully they don't think that they have to kill someone in order to make it a big finale. You know, I don't want to see Glenn or Maggie die, because just no. You know me by now, and you know that's a no. I'll lose it. But love the episode. I enjoyed this episode despite all the nasty shit. You know, it's entertaining, but still it gives me stuff to think about and stuff to hate, but love to hate. And I can't wait for the next. So let's leave it there, guys. Thank you for watching as always. I appreciate every one of you, and until next time, Bye bye. Thank you for watching Season 3 Episode 7 of The Walking Dead with me. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like on the video and also leave a comment below with your thoughts, your theories about the episode, but please, no spoilers. If you want to keep up to date with the channel, remember you can follow me on Twitter at TvandMe Reacts, or you can subscribe.